Okay guys, today we're going to go over how to make your Google Maps, and I'm just going to start at the top with creating a Google Map, and we'll work our way all the way through there. Okay, you're going to want to make sure that get yourself to Google Maps, and then one thing to be sure of is that you want to make sure that you've signed into your Google account, and if you don't have one, then obviously you're going to need to get one. If you notice on this, I'm actually signed in with my Gmail account. For a few reasons, we don't actually want you to sign in with your school accounts, so please do use some account other than your school account. I'm assuming most of you guys have Gmail anyway, so just use that. If you don't have one, it's a great tool, and you'll find it quite useful. Okay, once you're there, what you're going to do is you're going to go to My Places, and it's going to load up here, and it's going to give you a chance to create a map. Now, I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and click on the one below. If you want to try to use this one, I imagine most of what you're going to need to do is possible here, but I don't know how to do it, and it's much easier through here. So, my recommendation, you're going to create with Classic My Maps, okay, right there. Okay, once you're there, you just need to title your map and maybe give it a description. So this is going to be geography map. Maybe put in your name so that I know who I'm looking at. I'm having a really hard time typing there. And you can describe in there, give a quick description, something like that. I would suggest that you go ahead and make this unlisted. There's no real reason to keep it public, and again, as far as digital citizenship goes, probably not a very good idea to be showing people. I mean, it's not going to be personal information, but anyway, it's probably best just to keep it unlisted, and then you're just going to share it with me specifically and maybe some other people. Okay, so your assignment is to find examples, picture examples of the landforms that we're studying, and then you're going to pin them to the map in the place where they go. So I'm going to find the example as a picture and then actually pin it on the map in the exact place where it is. So it's kind of like a living, breathing map, and we'll put a few descriptions in there about that too. So job one is to go ahead and find a picture of what you're looking for. All right, you can do this in two ways. I know some of you guys already know about what's called a Creative Commons search, and that's fine. That's search.creativecommons.org, and you would want to make sure that both of these two are ticked. In fact, this is probably the easiest way. It's going to search Google Images. You could have it search other things too. And I'm going to look for a cape, and I'm wondering what a cape is, so let's go with, how about the Cape of Good Hope? So I'm going to find a nice picture here, and I'm going to use one of these pictures as my example of what a cape is. Now remember, a cape is something that juts out into the ocean, and it's going to actually disrupt the water current. So a picture like this, for example, well, it doesn't really show me that. I mean, yeah, it's the Cape of Good Hope, but it doesn't really show me what a cape is. So I don't think this is a very useful picture for what we're doing. Probably better to use a picture like this, where it shows, the cape actually jutting out into the water. Once I've found the picture that I want, I actually don't want to view the original image. This is going to give me a much bigger image, something 1600 pixels to 1157, and that's going to be way too big. Instead, I want to use this nice little small thumbnail because it's going to fit onto a Google map real nicely. So I'm just going to right click on the thumbnail here, and I'm going to copy image URL. By the way, I'm using Google Chrome. If you're using something else, it might do it a little bit differently. So we're going to copy image URL, and we're ready for the next step, which is to go back to our map. Okay, and just in case you've clicked away from your map or something like this, you are going to want to give yourself to go back into the edit dialog. So now I'm going to go to the map, I'm going to go down here to the Cape of Good Hope, and I'm going to click this button to add a place mark. Now you want to put this as close as possible as you can to where the picture actually is. So I know that picture is this bit right here, so I wouldn't want to put it up here because that's not really what the picture is of. Okay, so put it as close as you can to where the picture is actually, what the picture is actually showing. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to want to click on the bookmark itself until you get this dialog to pop up. And I will say that I tried this a few times and actually had a bit of trouble. I think it was finally saved when I went back and saved my map. But either way, try it a few times, I think it'll probably work. So we're going to enter a name, and we're going to make sure we spell things right. And now what I want to do is I want to go into the rich text dialog right here. And you want to just click on this little button that says Insert Image, and it's going to ask you to put in the URL. Well, remember, we saved it just a second ago, so now I'm just going to paste it. And I'm going to say OK, and you see that that picture is showing up right there. Okay? So the picture looks all good and all that. I'm going to hit OK, and now there's a picture when I click on that. If I want to see how it actually looks without the dialogue, we can hit Save. And then I can hit Done as well, and then once I'm there, you see whenever I click on this, it shows me this nice picture that I just put in. Okay? Now you would also want to put in there a little bit of a description about what it was, so let's see what that might look like. I'm going to go back to Edit, and now I'm going to go here, and what I can do is write something underneath. So I told you to write a description of why it is a cape, but you would actually do that. Okay? So I just clicked at the picture and I just hit Enter, and it's just like a text box or Word or anything else. And again, I can hit OK, and I can hit Save and Done, and now I can go look at this, and what you can see is that now both the picture and what I just wrote are there. Okay? So that's real simply how to put a picture in. Okay, now we need to see what to do when you find a picture that's maybe too big and you can't find a smaller version of it. Okay, so I found this nice picture of Table Mountain, and you can see here that it's really big, 2048 by 1536 pixels. And when I go over here and view the original image, you see, it's massive when we're actually looking at the actual picture. Well, say you can't find a smaller version of it, what you can still do is go through the same process, highlight the URL, do that, and we're going to go over here and put it into our map via the same exact process. So you see I've already got my thing there, and I'm going to go to Rich Text, I'm going to click on Picture, and I'm just going to paste that URL that I just copied. And it's going to go in here, it's going to take a second, and we'll see that it goes in there, but it's way too big to be of any use to me, okay? So we see the top of the plane. So all we're going to do is we're going to go click on this where it says Edit HTML, and we're going to do some real simple editing inside of it. I want to go inside of this little triangular bracket, and right behind it, I'm going to type the word width, and then an equal sign, and then 2 quotation marks. Well, really, I'm going to put the size in there. And what you need to do as far as a width is you need to just kind of play with it, but what you're looking for is a width of, something that's around 200. So maybe, 1/8 of this number or something. So you can just take your calculator and do a little division. So we'll do 2048 divided by 8 equals 256. Okay? So now we're going to go back over here, and we're going to say width equals, and again I've got a quotation mark there, 256, and I'm going to put another quotation mark, then a comma, and I'm going to go back to my calculator, and we're going to do 1536 and divide it by the same amount, 8. Again, you can play around with it, you can do whatever you want, you just want to keep the proportions the same so that the picture doesn't get all skewed. And now instead of width, I'm going to say height. And what did we have there? 192 equals, there's no spaces or anything, quotation mark 192. And then I'm going to hit OK. And now we should see that this picture, when I hit Save and Done, we're going to see that picture is much more accessible, much more usable. Okay, so it's not some huge thing anymore. Okay, so the last step here is going to be to put a video into your Google Map, and I want you to do several of these. So we're going to come back to our Creative Commons search, and I'm going to search for the Bosporus, which is a strait in Turkey if you don't know, and I'm going to make sure that I do a YouTube search down here. So I'll just click there, And there are a bunch of weird ones in there. Anyway, the one I selected is this one right here. So what I want to do with this, I want to go down and click on where it says embed code. And very important, this took me a long time to sort out, you must leave this box right here ticked. Don't untick it. If you do, it makes it not work for some unknown reason. Okay? So once you've got this, you're just going to right click and copy. And we're going to go back to our geography map. And again, make sure we're editing. And we're going to go down here to the Bosporus, which is this real narrow strait between the Black Sea and the Aegean Sea. And we're going to put in a new bookmark. And since this one's kind of hard to see since it's on water, might as well show you this now. I'm going to choose something that's a little bit easier. And again, I just clicked here, and you could choose it, choose to make it whatever you wanted. Okay? In this case, I think that bright yellow one is pretty nice. All right? And then we'll just hit back. And you want to make sure, after you enter a name, you want to make sure that you're over in the Edit HTML part. Okay? Not rich text, not plain text, but over here. We're just going to right click and paste. And then one last thing we have to make sure of, it's just a little quirky thing, and maybe some videos you don't have to do this, but you see right here where you've got the URL or the web code, you need to go click in front of the forward slashes and type HTTP and a colon. Okay? So if you do all that and hit OK, what you should see is that when you save it and go to done, that video is going to be embedded right there in that link, or right there in that place mark. So when I go click on it, it just pops up and there's that video, and I could watch it straight away right there. It might take a second because I'm at school. Okay, so that's the last feature there. And I put those suggestions right there to make sure that the suggested videos box is checked and to add HTTP into the HTML code.